Hello, hello. Good morning. My name is Rick, and welcome to the Cat Golf Show. Now, this is a pretty early edition of the show today. I just got home from the gym. I just got out the shower. As you can see, my hair is wet. I'm wearing my white tee. My white tee. I don't want to do a lot of jokes today. Honestly, I'm not. I'm not in the mood really. I feel like recently my mood has been like roller coastery. Like one video, like a week is not a super long amount of time, at least not in my life. It feels like the week's just been blurring by. Personally, I don't know about you guys, but it just feels like time is just, as I get older, time is just going faster and faster. But I feel like from week to week with the show, my mood just fluctuates so rapidly. It's hard to keep up with what mood I'll be in. And I'll be honest, I almost didn't record. I wasn't going to record this week because I'm feeling so bad recently, and I'm just like, fuck it. No one's gonna care if I upload. The 8 people that watch are not gonna care if I upload a video from a few months ago where I was still talking about Lexapro and like whatever other shit was going on. Like I keep saying, I do want to upload those videos at some point. The only problem is I don't know when exactly I will do that. So life updates, I guess. I had a couple of different ideas for this video. And I'm not sure which angle I'll take. I'll talk about a bunch of different things related to, personal problems that I'm having or whatever. And we'll just see where it goes. So I got a new tripod. So if this looks a little bigger, or if I look higher up, it's sort of like my old tripod. I think I got it back in 2016. It's like the last gift that my grandma got me before she died. It was super cheap. We got it off Amazon for like 16 bucks or some shit. It was super small, super plasticky. Didn't really have, you couldn't adjust the angles of it really well. This one is metal. There's still plastic bits, like the attachment part where the camera attaches is plastic, but you've got much more maneuverability. It's got much more maneuverability, and you can angle it much better than you could my old one. So that's good. But yeah, it's much bigger. So it's like I angled it downward because if I had it flat on, if I just had it like trained straight ahead, it would be like you'd get the top of my forehead, and that would be it. And I don't think that would make for too much entertaining content. So yeah, if you're fucking looking down at me, this is how I prefer my partner look down at me. I prefer to be the small one in the relationship and just kind of look up. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I said I didn't want to do jokes in this video. I'm not really feeling that good. This morning I was feeling quite miserable. I didn't sleep awful last night, but I had a tumultuous sleep. I've been having the fucking weirdest dreams. Another Lexapro mention. I started taking 20 milligrams now. I asked my provider to up the dosage for me. So I'm at 20 now, and it's so weird. As my body gets used to it, I stop having weird dreams, and then now that I've started taking this higher dosage, I've been having weird dreams again. So every night it's just like a really weird dream. Last night I think I was having a dream that I was looking for a gun or something. I was trying to put ammo in a gun that didn't fit, and there was a dog that was like split in half that was chasing this girl down the street in my old neighborhood. And it was super weird and very scary. Like she was full on running, and this dog was like split down the middle, and it like had all these teeth and shit. Really weird. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit doing to my brain? Why am I dreaming about this? It doesn't make any sense. So I have a problem, and that problem is with confidence. So I mentioned in a previous episode, probably the previous episode, that when it comes to flirting and romance and dating, I don't have much experience. I've only had one girlfriend. I've been on a handful of dates, some of which I don't even know that you would count them as dates necessarily. Like, I don't know if I've told this story, but there was this one time, there was this mother and daughter who came to the grocery store that I worked at. They would come, I think like Wednesday nights or something, whatever shift it was at night that I had that during the week back when I was in college. And they would come every time, and we'd talk a little bit. They knew me. They were a regular customer of mine, and we became like friendly. I remember for my birthday one year, like the girl's mother, this was a woman, she was not a girl, I don't know what I'm saying, it was a grown, their like mother was older obviously, and then the daughter was a grown woman as well. It was not like a teenager situation, whatever. But the mother like gave me a birthday card one year and was like, hey, we really appreciate the hard work you put in. We'd love to get together and like have froyo with you one time. So I, being the naive person I was like, sure, why the fuck not? I'll just go and meet up with these strange women that I've never interacted with, outside of, work before. So I did. I lied to my parents and told them I was going out with my friends to get froyo, like my friends that they knew, and it was a complete lie. I met up with them, and it was fine. I mean, they were very religious, and that was sort of when I just had discovered that I wasn't religious anymore. So I think that a big reason as to why the mother in particular liked me so much is because she assumed that I was religious, I think, just because of my values and the way that I held myself. I think it came off that way to her for whatever reason. But she was like, you and my daughter should get together. She texted, because she had my number. I don't remember how. I think she gave me her number in the phone card. Like, the mother gave me her phone number in the card that she gave me for my birthday or whatever. And was like, text us, we'll get together and we'll do froyo together, the three of us. So she, after the froyo thing, which was fine. We talked a lot. We had a good conversation. It was fine. It was whatever. It was during the middle of the day. Like, it wasn't weird or anything. After that, she was like, hey, can I give you my daughter your phone number? I think it would be great if you guys got together. So I was like, this woman's setting me up with her daughter, right? So I was like, sure, go ahead. Because her daughter was cute. I thought she was attractive. So she gave me her daughter's number. We texted. I can't remember exactly if we flirted or not. We texted quite frequently. And, I guess I asked her, hey, would you want to get together at some point and do something together? And she was like, yeah, let's get breakfast together one day. I'm free this day. And I was like, sure. She's a very busy schedule. She was training to be a veterinarian, I'm pretty sure, if I'm recalling that correctly. So she was a super interesting person to talk to. So yeah, we went to this fucking diner and we got breakfast and it was super cute. It was low key. We talked about how little experience I'd had in life. And this is like a general theme, I think, in my dating life. It puts women off when I tell them how little I've done, like, in life, how little experiences I've had. And it's not my fault. Like, I'm just now sort of coming into the age where I can do those things myself, where I can afford to do those things. Not even really, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, diner, breakfast, super low key. I told my friends and stuff and they were like, yeah, this is for sure a date. And I was for sure, I guess we didn't use the word date. Like, me and her didn't use the word date per se, I guess. And this is what I get for making assumptions. I'm always making assumptions and they usually turn out to be bad. But we went on it. It was great, yada, yada. I texted her a little bit later. I'm like, hey, I had a really fun time. I'd love to get together with you again at some point, if you'd want to. Nothing. Silence. I don't see them at work. I think that might have been after my schedule changed, to be honest. But I had stopped seeing them at work for some period of time. I told my friends, I was like, yeah, we've been on this date. It went great. Haven't heard from her in like 3 days. 3 days later, she texts me, oh, I was out of state with my boyfriend. We were, doing whatever. And I was like, I was shocked because and this is on me. This is my fault, obviously, for not asking questions and getting to the bottom of it. But I partially fault her. We talked for like 2 hours straight. And not once did she mention a boyfriend. And I'm like, that's weird, right? Like, her mother is saying, I think you guys should hang out. Giving me can I give you my daughter your phone number? And is basically setting us up. I thought this was a classic mother setting up her daughter with a nice man type situation. Now, their daughter was a little bit older than me. I think she was like 2 or 3 years older than me. Whatever. It was irrelevant at the time. I was like 21, I think. But yeah, I was like, did I just get duped? What the hell? She had like 2 hours to mention this man that she was seeing. Nothing. And it's not even like they'd been together for a short amount of time. They'd been together for a long time. When because we followed each other on Instagram, I think after that, I went through her feed and I found her like a happy like 3 or 4 year anniversary with her boyfriend. And I was like, bro, what the hell? I was shocked. This is a man that she'd been dating for a good amount of time, and 2 hours of conversation, nothing, not a thing. And I was, I was very shocked. I was very hurt by that. That happened back like right after the pandemic, I want to say. But and then I've gone on I think I went on a date that I may have mentioned again to a museum, and I was very awkward the whole time. I feel like I was off-putting, perhaps. I was trying to make jokes and they were falling flat. And this girl that I went to the museum with clearly wanted me to hold her hand, and I was not catching the signal. I was very scared. I was like, ugh, I don't want to be too forward. And I feel like it would have, if I had done those things and been better, it would have worked out. And that is hard for me to deal with sometimes because I feel like I get in my own way. And I had a situation very recently where that is the case. I've been talking to a person for quite a while now, like 2 or 3 months. In that time, I want to say I'd been flirty, but the me saying that I have a problem flirting in the last video, that originates from this story. But in general, I don't know how to walk the line, like I said, between being overtly flirty and being fearful that I'm going to put somebody off. And now I was in the Discord server recently that I talked about, that I mentioned in a previous video. And I was asking them, because I sent them an update on the situation that was going on. And they were like, yeah, dude, you lack confidence. You're insecure. And you got to work on that. And it's when I get feedback that big, my mind immediately goes to, okay, this is a fundamental flaw that you have that you cannot fix. It's sort of, that is a philosophy that I've dealt with. It's a problem that I've dealt with. It's a personal problem that I've had my entire life. If I get feedback of any kind, so my novel is a good example of this. When my friend looked over my novel and he said it was a draft and he gave me all these comments and critiques that I should fix, To me, that told me that this is too big to fix, and I should just I should just publish it as is. I should just try to get an agent and try to get it published as it is. So when I'm faced with these big problems that don't have immediate solutions, my first reaction, and this is, I don't know how to fix this necessarily, so maybe this is like venting about it and talking about it is the first step to acknowledging it. When I get those big critiques, I think I'm internally flawed. It's a permanent thing. There's no way to fix it. I just have to keep going. I just have to deal with it. But me being insecure, I think that stems from a lot of things when it comes to relationships. Because when I've not been, and I remember I used to be so bold with my romantic interests when I was younger, to the point where it was weird. It definitely was weird. I have stories that I don't want to fucking get into now because it just brings back bad memories. But I'm trying to think if there was a moment that turned it in my brain where I was like, okay, anytime that you're this bold when it comes to romantic interest, it blows up in your face. So we're going to stop doing this. But I can't think of one off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm scared that my advances will be seen as, untoward. Even if I'm not being, like I said, I'm not being weird. It's just like the perceptions of flirting, especially when, context around around this person is like, hey, I want to take things very, very slow. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, so basically I had a situation where I very, very recently was certain that I'd fumbled. And I know the creator that I follow, whose Discord server that I'm in, who I've mentioned before, he is like, his logic is you cannot fumble a baddie. You cannot fumble someone. Because if they like you, then there is very little that you can do to make them not. And it's like, to a degree, I understand and I agree with that. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel like there are things that you could do to make a person, no matter how much they like you, not rock with you anymore. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I had a situation recently that I was certain I'd fumbled. I sent a text, not risky in the way that you think. It wasn't like, hey, let's go on a date or something. It wasn't like that. It was just me expressing a concern that I had. But I sent a text to this person that I've been talking to for a while now, for a few months now, expressing a sentiment that I had, that I was concerned about. And they didn't respond in the best way. Now, that is a risk that you run when you are in these situations, of course, that you send a text that is risky or whatever, and they don't respond in the way that you hoped. So I sent it to the Discord, and they were like, "Yeah, you're insecure. She's not going to respond. Just take it on the chin. Thug it out. Keep moving." So I had already sent a follow-up text after she had responded, suggesting whatever. And I think maybe a day or two goes by, and she responds, and it's good. And I'm like, holy shit! I'm just like shocked because I thought for sure that I fumbled. So maybe that goes to prove the theory that you can't fumble a baddie if they like you. But I still think that you can, definitely. The situation that I'm in right now is very tenuous. It's very up in the air. We're trying to make plans. We have tentative plans made right now. But yeah, it still feels very up in the air to me, and I just don't know how to not be so nervous. You know what I mean? Like, until it gets closer to that time, I'm not going to be as nervous as I'll be like in the moment, but it's like I can feel the tensions billowing. There's just a whole bunch of situations that lead to my anxiety just like spiking. And in those moments I panic. I act weird. Like it's inherent to my being that I act strange and weird when I'm in those situations. And dating is very tough for me for that reason. But yeah, my problem is that I'm insecure. I'm afraid to make advances for fear of, how those advances will be perceived. And I'm in another situation that's very similar where I'm like, talking to a person. It's much shorter term. I've been talking to this person for a very, very limited amount of time, but it's like tried to be flirtatious, not necessarily been reciprocated or received, in my opinion, as well as I would have liked. So I'm like, okay, now I'm just going to stop. Because it's not going over well. And it's like, you got to read the cues. You got to read the context around the situation, around what is being said and how they're reacting to it to really grasp. There's no a big thing. I'm really big on getting advice from people. So I'll ask people all the time, like, what should I say? What do I do in this situation? And it's like, there's no real rule set to follow. Besides don't be creepy, of course. You just sort of have to feel it out because every person is so different. Every circumstance is so different. These terms like flirting and, banter, whatever, have such different definitions to different people. So there's no one way to do it in a way that's going to be universally recognized and accepted. So I'd say my biggest piece of advice, not only for myself, but for people who may be going through a similar situation, is do not panic. when you get that, when you're in a situation like I was in, where you get an answer that's sort of shaky and it makes you feel like anxious and you want to panic and you want to run, it's important to take a step back and not to do that. I feel like so many men are quick to like blow up when something doesn't go their way, and I have never been that way. I'm always been the person to like retreat inward when something like that happens and doesn't go my way, because I'm like, blowing up is not going to make the situation better. Exploding on this person is not going to make them like me. So it's just like, okay, internalize it. I did something wrong. It's my fault. This is just another instance in a long line of instances where this has happened to me. I just got to take it as it comes. And I don't think that's necessarily a healthy mindset. I don't think that's healthier than blowing up on someone. But I also don't think that you should blow up on someone, obviously. I think that's a horrible response to have to rejection. It's a generally bad thing. And I think it's made dating harder for everyone, because it's like, women don't know how this man is going to react if they reject them. So it's like, you're more likely to get strung along because of the precedent that's been set by men who are more explosive, who are more violent in anger and more prone to that sort of reaction. So I've always wanted to distinguish myself in that. I don't do that. I don't blow up like that. But yeah, I internalize it, which I don't think is better. I don't think it works in my favor. So yeah, other circumstances notwithstanding, I've been going through a lot recently mentally. And I just feel like, almost feel like who I portray on this channel, maybe it comes across as fake sometimes. Like, when I'm happy in last week's video and then sad in this week's, I just want to be like honest with you guys and say that is literally how my mood fluctuates. And I don't know if that's a symptom of the depression or if that's just life circumstances or what, but it's genuinely, that's how I am. Like, I feel a little bit scared of my emotions a lot of the time, because they're just so volatile. Like, I'll be feeling on top of the world in one instance, and then I'll feel the crushing weight of the universe in another. It's like, a common thing that happens to me is I'll hang out with a friend, or I'll like I said, I've been playing games with friends recently because I realize I don't get to see my friends as much as I'd like. A lot of them are busy. They have full-time jobs. They have college. They have all different type of responsibilities. So I don't get to see them in person much. So I FaceTime them, and also, a lot of them play video games. So I'm not a big multiplayer gamer. And I've always, every time someone's like, we should download this game and play it together, I've always sort of shunned them and said, like, no, I don't want to. I don't play multiplayer games. But now I've embraced it more, because I'm like, I'm very lonely. I'm crushingly lonely. And that is a fundamental problem that I've struggled with my entire life, that I've talked about. But I'm just so lonely. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna get on game. I'm gonna get on Discord and hang out with my friends. And it's really, really a great time. It's one-on-one usually. It's like I have a rotating group of guys that I hang out with, like, whether I see them in the gym, in person, go over to the apartment, whatever, that I hang out with and that I play games with. But it's like, we'll play game. I'll have such a good time. I'll be like, my worries go away essentially when I'm playing with them. And the minute they hang up the call, it's just like the world crushes in around me. It's horrifying. It's actually terrible. I just feel so empty and so sad. And like, when I'm hanging out with my friends in person, whenever they leave or when I have to leave, it feels almost apocalyptic. And I don't know how to fix that. I recall feeling that way when I was a kid too. I remember crying when my cousin slept over with us one time. He slept over at our house, and he had to leave the next day. And I was begging my mother to adopt him so he could stay over and live with us forever. Because I was literally crying. I was like, yeah, because it didn't happen very often. And I wonder if that's where that comes from, to be honest. Because as a kid, my parents had a philosophy that you can only have one good thing every so often. So it's like, if you hang out with your friends, on Monday, you can't hang out with them again for like 2 weeks. You're not allowed to have that much fun in 1 week. I've worked around it now. I'm sort of breaking that habit. But I wonder if that's where that fear comes from after they leave. Because I'm like, I don't know when this is going to happen again. And maybe it's subconscious, because I don't think that. Like, I see these people regularly. I talk with them decently regularly. So it's not like they're not in my life at all. Like, they're in my life. It's just when I'm by myself, as I am now, I'm totally alone. My cat is downstairs sleeping in his window. And I'm just up here talking, just yapping. And it's sad. It's crushing. I was talking to someone recently, and I told them, when I wake up in the morning and I check my phone and there's no notifications, no one's texting me overnight, it's kind of a devastating feeling. And I may be outing myself as a total loser, loner, anti-friend guy, I guess, but I just want to be honest with you guys. Like, this is very much an outlet for me to vent and talk about my frustrations, my problems, etc. and also my, my accomplishments, my victories as well. But recently I've just been feeling very low. I've been feeling very much like a failure. I've been beating myself up about different things, and I've just been in my head about a lot of different things, and I've just been really, really sad. Like, this weekend was very sad. I don't look forward to the week, and I've said that before. I really don't look forward to the work week, but I feel like the weekends they're not offering me much relief in these last few weekends. So, but yeah, it's just it's lonely. It's lonely out here, man. It's tough, and I really thought living alone had garnered this sort of, I don't even know how to say it necessarily. It is sort of, it was idealized in my brain. It was a status of, oh, I don't have to tell anyone where I'm going. I don't have to deal with anyone's shit. It's me. I just have to deal with myself, And now that I'm living by myself, not only am I struggling, financially, of course, because, money is tight and rent is expensive, but it's just, you wake up alone, you go to sleep by yourself, and it gets lonely. Like I said, the gym is my only outlet, and I feel like I've just been slipping in life. I feel like my dedication to the gym has really waned recently because of my mental. I feel like it's been very hard for me to wake up. I've been so tired recently. I feel like I could just sleep and sleep. I get 8 hours of sleep and I'm still exhausted. Like, mentally, I feel very exhausted. I feel like my brain is just going, and there's no rest for me. There's no physical rest for me. There's no mental rest for me. And it's getting the best of me. I feel like it's getting to me. So yeah, my dedication to the gym has been not the best. My dedication to my work has not been the best. My dedication to my channel has not been the best. I've been trying to put out 2 videos a week recently, just to increase the numbers, and I've not really been doing that. I feel like I've been rushing to get videos out the last minute, and that's partially due to the fact that I don't have a lot going on in my life, and partially due to the fact that my mental has just been bad enough to the point where I feel like I don't want to do it. Editing my novel, I had to stop yesterday because I was like, oh, I'm just staring at this fucking page and reading the same sentence over and over again, and I'm not making any meaningful progress. So I'm gonna go back today and look at what I wrote yesterday to see if it's actually any good, because I don't know. I was just so in my head and so mentally distraught yesterday that I feel like I might not have written any meaningful contributions or made any meaningful changes, but we'll see. I feel like a staple of my existence is the loneliness, and I'm trying to remedy that through various means, to varying degrees of success. The more I think about it, the sadder I get. And I talk to people, I have friends, like I said. My neighbor, we see each other every now and then, and we talk, and he wants to get together with me, but he's super religious, and I don't know. He gave me a business card for his church, and that just put me off. And he gave me his phone number too, and I never texted him. I want to get together with him. I'm scared. I don't want to talk to him about religion. Like, I don't want to have that conversation with him, but I can just dead ass be like, yo, I want to hang out with you, but can we not talk about religion? Because I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God or whatever. So that's beside the point. But I feel like I watch myself in a montage of like sad music. I wake up, go to the gym, talk to the people, and I outwardly appear happy. And then I drive home by myself. And then I shower by myself. And then I get dressed by myself. And then I, have my coffee and my little treat in the morning by myself. And I work by myself. And most nights I spend by myself. And I go to sleep by myself. I feel like it is the reality of my situation right now. So I think that's where I'm going to stop for now. I appreciate you guys sticking by and listening to me. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like. Please leave a comment about what kind of stuff you'd like to see. I'm still thinking about making gameplay videos on this channel, if that's something you guys be interested in. I think I'd be interested in recording it regardless. But just let me know. Thanks for the views, guys. I really appreciate it. And until next time, ta-ta. Take it easy.